The phrase "no one is perfect" seems to be a cliché, but that's quite true. Strengths and weaknesses are part of every person, but it becomes a problem when our weaknesses outweigh the strengths we possess. This is the case for the charming, compassionate, and friendly Libra. This seventh sign of the zodiac does a great job of being a true friend and having positive energy. But like all humans, Libras also have weaknesses that they can improve upon. Watch till the end as we examine the biggest weaknesses of the Libra zodiac sign. Indecisiveness. The indecisiveness of a Libra can stem from a few factors. One is their desire for fairness and equality, which can lead them to seek out all possible options and consider each one equally. This can be a positive trait when it comes to avoiding hasty or impulsive decisions, but it can also create a paralysis of analysis, where Libra becomes so consumed with weighing every possible outcome that they are unable to decide at all. Another factor is Libra's desire to avoid conflict. Because they are natural peacemakers, they may struggle with making a decision that could potentially upset someone or create tension in a situation. This can lead to procrastination or the avoidance of decision-making altogether. Let's not forget that this weakness comes with its perks, and this includes Libra's ability to see all sides of an issue, which can also be a strength when it comes to decision-making. They can consider the needs and perspectives of everyone involved and make a choice that takes into account the greater good. Ultimately, Libra's indecisiveness can be managed through practice and self-awareness. Fragile ego. When one has a fragile ego, they are always dependent on others for validation. It doesn't matter how capable or skilled they are. If they don't let go of this weakness, they will never be proud of their achievements or how far they have come. Such is the case of the Libras. Their identities appear to be modeled by those around them, and it is quite fragile because their sense of self-worth can frequently stem from the approval they receive from others. Also, Libras are prone to being overly reliant on other people's perceptions. They tend to compare their lives and accomplishments to those around them, which can be risky. Fortunately, Libras can overcome this weakness if they have adequate self-awareness. With time and patience, they can develop the ability to rely on their inner wisdom and make the best choices for themselves. By doing this, they can boost their self-assurance and confidence, which will enable them to take opportunities and healthily respond to critiques. Codependent. Having an individual or individuals who we can trust is amazing, but building our whole existence around them makes our life meaningless. Some are so dependent that they cast all their worth and care upon another, which is highly unhealthy. Codependency is one of the weaknesses of Libras. As a result, Libras risk becoming emotionally reliant on other people for their joy and sense of worth. When Libra relies too heavily on the other person for emotional support and approval, it can result in unhealthy partnerships. Even though they are aware that the situation is toxic, Libras may find it challenging to leave codependent relationships because they are afraid of being alone. To keep things peaceful, Libras may also shy away from conflict and uncomfortable discussions, which can result in resentment and unresolved concerns. Remember that it's important for Libras to keep their independence. The need to be codependent can be lessened by setting aside time for self-care activities, like time alone or hobbies. People-pleasing. The desire to please others is often driven by a fear of rejection or conflict. Libras, being natural peacekeepers, may find it easier to simply agree with others rather than risk creating tension or upsetting someone. However, this can lead to a lack of boundaries and a loss of personal agency. In addition, people-pleasing behavior can cause Libra to neglect their own needs and desires. They may prioritize the wants of others over their own, which can result in burnout or resentment. This can be especially problematic for a Libra who struggles with indecisiveness, as they may have difficulty asserting their preferences and making decisions that are truly in their best interest. Libra needs to learn how to set boundaries and prioritize their own needs. This can involve learning how to say no without feeling guilty, identifying their wants and desires, and practicing self-care. It may also involve working on self-esteem and building a strong sense of self-worth so that they do not feel as though their value is solely dependent on pleasing others. Therefore, a balance must be struck between the desire to please others and the need to prioritize one's well-being. Jealousy. This is an insecurity that can manifest itself in several ways. For example, a Libra might become jealous of their partner's friends or coworkers, feeling as though they are being replaced or overlooked. They may also become possessive of their partner's time and attention, demanding constant reassurance and validation. In some cases, a Libra's jealousy can even lead to controlling behavior. They may try to manipulate their partner into doing what they want or dictate their every move in an attempt to alleviate their fears and insecurities. This can be especially damaging to a relationship, as it can erode trust and create an unhealthy power dynamic. Libra needs to address their jealousy and possessiveness if they want to have healthy, fulfilling relationships. This may involve working on self-esteem and building a stronger sense of self-worth so that they do not feel as though their value is dependent on their partner's attention. It may also involve practicing trust and vulnerability and learning to communicate openly and honestly with their partner about their fears and insecurities. Gullible. Of all the zodiac signs, Libras tend to be the most gullible. This star sign's gullibility can stem from a desire to see the best in people. Libras are known for their diplomatic nature and their desire to avoid conflict. As such, they may be more willing to overlook red flags or warning signs in favor of maintaining harmony and positivity in their relationships. However, this can lead to a lack of critical thinking and a failure to recognize when someone is trying to manipulate or exploit them. It can also make it difficult for them to set boundaries and assert their own needs and desires. To avoid falling victim to gullibility, Libra needs to learn how to trust their intuition and judgment. This may involve developing a stronger sense of self-worth and self-confidence so that they are less reliant on external validation and approval. Additionally, a Libra may benefit from cultivating a healthy dose of skepticism. This doesn't mean becoming cynical or suspicious of everyone they meet, but rather learning to ask questions and seek out the evidence before blindly accepting someone's claims or promises. Nevertheless, a Libra's gullibility can be both a strength and a weakness. While it may make them vulnerable to exploitation and manipulation, it can also help them build strong, trusting relationships with others. Stubbornness. This can be both a strength and a weakness. On one hand, it shows that a Libra is confident in its convictions and is not easily swayed by outside influence. This can be especially helpful in situations where they need to make tough decisions or stand up for their beliefs. However, this stubbornness can also create problems in relationships and interpersonal dynamics. Libra may be so committed to their perspective that they are unwilling to listen to others or consider alternative viewpoints. This can lead to conflicts and misunderstandings, as well as a lack of compromise and cooperation. To overcome their stubbornness, Libra may need to practice flexibility and openness. This may involve learning to listen to others without becoming defensive or dismissive, and being willing to consider alternative perspectives and ideas. It may also involve learning to let go of the need for control and perfection and accepting that sometimes things don't always go according to plan. With practice and self-awareness, Libra can learn to harness its stubbornness as a strength while also avoiding its potential pitfalls. Self-pitying. The tendency towards self-pity can stem from a deep need for validation and recognition. Libras are known for their people-pleasing tendencies, and when they feel like their efforts are not being appreciated or recognized, they can become disheartened and feel sorry for themselves. Furthermore, Libras are highly sensitive and empathetic individuals who are attuned to the emotions and experiences of others. While this can be a positive trait in many ways, it can also make them more susceptible to taking on the negative emotions of those around them. This can lead to feelings of helplessness, sadness, and self-pity, especially if they perceive that they are unable to alleviate the suffering of those they care about. To overcome this tendency towards self-pity, Libra may need to practice self-compassion and self-care. This may involve learning to recognize and challenge negative thought patterns, practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques, and engaging in activities that bring them joy and fulfillment. Knowing the biggest weaknesses of the Libra zodiac sign, I'm sure you would also like to know amazing facts about Scorpio women. Click on the image and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.